Hi friends, it's Deanna Williston from Our Blooming Catholic Life, and I wanted to come to you today answering a question that gets asked all the time. Why do you say you're pro-life when you're really anti-abortion? So the pro-choicers like to say, we're pro-choice, not pro-abortion. I personally, some will go further. Some stop there. They never commit to whether they're for abortion or not. Some will say, oh, nobody's actually for abortion, but there clearly are people who are promoting it. Then there are other people who say, well, I'm pro-choice, I'm against abortion personally, but I won't step on anybody else's rights, telling them what to do with their body. And so why do we say that we're pro-life and so many of us refuse to say that we're anti-abortion? Because while we are anti-abortion, that's not really our focus. And we're focused on people, not their choices. And here's what I mean by that. When you say, like when pro-choicers say they wouldn't tell anybody what to do with their body, that's not entirely true, I don't think. If they saw somebody who was self-harming, would they speak out against that? If, like, literally cutting themselves, would you speak out against it? If you had a friend that was an alcoholic or a drug addict, would you speak out against that thing that they're doing that's harming themselves? If you saw someone who had postpartum depression, would you get them help? I think yes. If you saw somebody who lost their job and was struggling and was ready to snap, would you speak out or would you let them be self-destructive and hurt themselves? So that is the first thing, and that's just about the mom and herself. So for her body, yes, absolutely I would. Would I try and stop somebody if I thought they were going to commit suicide? Would I try and get them help before it even got that bad? Absolutely I would. And so I'm not just anti-abortion, I am pro-life. That's what I am. I'm pro-life. Now, is there an anti-abortion facet in that? Sure. Sure there is. Because that's one of the things. I'm also anti-self-harm. I'm also anti-alcoholism. I'm also anti-drug addict. Hey, I'm also anti-murder. I don't go around normally saying those things because pro-life encapsulates all of those ideas. And it doesn't for everyone. It does for me. And that's why I personally would rather say I'm pro-life. And then the next argument is, well, you only are anti-abortion. You don't support women and children after that. And that's also not true. It may be true for some people. I honestly don't know anyone that's true of. Most people, if they know someone who is considering abortion, and we're doing this in a more organized way, and maybe that's it. Maybe we haven't done it in such an organized way before that you haven't seen. I don't know. Catholic Charities is actually the largest charitable organization in the world. And there are all kinds of services out there for people who are hungry. Because that's one of the things, well, I couldn't feed my kid. But we have that program. We need help with housing. We have that program. Like, Catholic Charities has those programs. Most Catholic churches, if you go to them, will help you with emergency rent assistance. They will help you file for aid. They will help you link you with services. Some will even help you, like, it can be little things. You just might need a bus pass to get to a job interview so you could get a job. We'll help you with that. Like, most Catholic churches and charities will help you with things to a reasonable extent. Like, we're not going to let you continue in self-harm. But that's why most Catholic churches have AA meetings happening there. They host them because we are pro-life. We are there to support you. And so you can talk about the argument, well, 11-year-olds can't give birth. And so 11-year-olds should be able to make the choice whether or not to abort their child. And I would say no on that for a handful of reasons. One is 11-year-olds don't normally have full understanding of their medical histories, let alone upset 11-year-olds. And so we would need a parent involved or the court involved that could get a hold of those medical records and at least make sure that any medical care given was safe. Two, not every 11-year-old, no, their body is not prepared to give birth. But the ones who get pregnant, their bodies are more likely to be in that position. And so instead of jumping to the decision that they're 11, therefore they must abort, no, let's look at their medical history. Let's see what we can do to help them. Genuinely, not jump in with a quick fix solution, because how often, friends, do quick fix solutions work? Let's be honest. They don't really. There are long lasting complications from that. And it's funny because people will say, well, 11-year-olds who try and carry to term, or who do carry to term, are often unable to have children after that one. Well, so are people who have abortions. So I don't understand that argument either, because they don't accept that argument in general. So it's very confusing. And it's not entirely my body, my choice, because parents are expected to care for any dependents they have, whether they are the elderly, the disabled, or young children and infants. You are expected to care for that other person. And if you do not care for that other person, the state will come in, take that person away, possibly, and charge you. What better solution is to come in and see what help you need, and to give you those helps and supports that you need to do the jobs that you need to do well. And that's, again, why we're pro-life. So most crisis pregnancy centers, they do try and get an ultrasound. They link you up with good medical care. They don't normally offer the medical care there, but they will link you up with it. They offer you child care while you're in your appointments. They often have parenting classes. They link you with resources, as well as they may have some resources there. Oftentimes there's a small gift shop. And so if you participate in a class, you get some kind of token or points that you can redeem at that gift shop, and you can get things for your infants or young children. So we are pro-life. So say somebody, yeah, why is it that you want an abortion? If you're in an incestuous situation and you become pregnant and you go to an abortion clinic, they're going to abort your child, but they're not going to help get you out of the incestuous situation. If you go to a crisis pregnancy center, or go to a church, or somebody who is truly pro-life, they will probably try and help you get out of that situation, get some counseling in there, get you to a safe place, get some counseling in there, and try and help the family out entirely. And again, well, what if it's rape? Well, rape one and done. You can't just get an abortion and woo, magically everything's better. That's not how that works. I have been a victim of this myself, and it doesn't magically. Well, I didn't have to get a magic solution, but I will tell you, even without the complication of pregnancy, that there's no magic fix. There are women out there dying for a magic fix, because it's hard. It's hard. There's a lot of PTSD going on. There's a lot of guilt, and it can take years of therapy just to get over that. And so I'm not inviting you to compound that with something else as traumatic as aborting a child, because now you've lost that as well. It's just like adding another problem to a pretty big problem to start with. And so I would encourage you to try and find some solutions in counseling and try and get through that. You're going to need a pretty strong support network to get through that. And possibly you're going to need to get out of an abusive situation, right? And so there's a lot more going on than just the one problem. And so why are we not just anti-abortion? Why won't we fess up to that? Because that's not what we are. That is a tiny, tiny portion of what we are. What we are is we are pro-women. We are normally, not always, but most of us are pro-family, and we are pro-healthy family. We're totally pro-person, not just pro-life. We are for the elderly. We are for the disabled. But we're also for the caretakers that are overworked, who are overstressed, moms who have postpartum depression. We're here for you. We are pro-life. We will be there for you for all those situations. And do we do it perfectly 100% of the time? No, we're still human, but we do try our best, and we try and link you to various services who do each piece well. So you might go to one person, you're like, you're pro-life, you can't do it. But we can't do, each person doesn't do everything well. But we'll build a community around you that each piece is done well. And that's really the goal there. And it is a little brave. You have to be brave to do that, right, women? Because it's humbling. You're going in and asking for help, and we recognize that. And asking for help for one person is hard. And so that's why we start with maybe one contact and we branch out. What are you comfortable with? What is the next piece that we can help you with? Maybe you don't jump into the everybody helping you all at once, but you would get a contact, a person who would help organize, help lead you to other things, help kind of like lead your recovery team. And it's kind of an exciting time. And a lot of women make really great friendships through this. And you really do. You build your own little community. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing because we are pro-life. It's not easy. Sometimes you're calling a friend in the middle of the night and you're like, hey, my kid's sick. I gotta take him to the doctor. I need somebody to sit with my mom tomorrow. And hopefully you can find someone, right? You ask your friends, someone that your mom knows and is comfortable with, and they're aware of whatever her disabilities are, and they can come sit with her. Or your disabled child needs somebody, you need a sitter for a night for whatever reason. Hopefully you have people that you can turn to for that. But if you don't, let's get those communities built up. I think that's really what the pro-life movement is about. And if you've ever actually gone to the March for Life, that's what it's about, is building community. And that's why normally it's such a joyful time. I think people see that and they can't quite understand. This year's event was very somber and reflective. And normally it's much more exuberant. Like normally we have all these conferences and talks, and the mood in those are more somber, and networking and stuff. But when we get to the March for Life, it is the culmination of like a month, a week, a year of preparation for the event. And we are so glad to see everyone, all of our friends in person that maybe we don't always normally see, but our full big network. And we're shouting and we're just talking about the love that we have for humanity, the love that we have for our brothers and sisters, because we all have a common Father God, a creator. And so we are all brothers and sisters. And it's so empowering to see other brothers and sisters in love and just chant about how much you love babies, how much you love people, no matter what their abilities or disabilities are. And it's so encouraging and positive and loving. And it's an amazing time. And that's okay. Like sometimes you do need those somber moments, but we have a lot of those somber moments in our communities when we're helping people in really tough situations. And so when we can get together and celebrate life and encourage each other and hold each other up, that keeps us from burning out as well. And so we're pro-life, we're the pro-life movement as well. And I hope that answers your questions. If not, feel free to put them in the comments below, because this is a conversation that needs to be had. I ask you to be kind. And if this video has helped you at all, to please, give it a thumbs up, like it, share it, subscribe to my channel. And again, if you've got any ideas for networking or comments, I probably haven't even talked about Abby Johnson. I know she's getting canceled by a lot of groups, but she has started a lot of little small groups, and she is showing you what the pro-life movement can be. She's helping workers get out of the abortion industry. She is connecting young moms with resources. That's another group. Like she has a bunch of little small groups now that are building, because everybody's been doing it kind of in their own pockets. And now we're organizing to pool resources and expertise and to just give a higher level of and quicker response than we could before. So God bless you, friends. Keep fighting the fight. Fight for life. It is totally worth fighting for, from womb to tomb, from conception until natural death, because we could have that a whole nother conversation, because people who are allowing, countries who have allowed abortion, and then it was only the beginning, and then it was the second trimester, and then it was a third trimester, and now there's some of them are starting to allow infanticide, actually murdering of infants. So you could like give birth to a baby and its eye color is wrong. You can murder it. Like that's infanticide. And where do you stop that? Because now they're letting depressed teenagers take their own lives. What? Instead of helping somebody who's depressed, they're allowing them to take their own life. They're helping them do it. Like that's not a kindness. And they're helping people with illnesses. Just end it when they don't know. There could be a cure just around the corner, or something beautiful that they learn. If you talk with people who have some pretty severe disabilities, there's lots of people who are encouraging. I'm thinking of the Lego project. I think his name is John Kramer, and he's out there and he does some amazing work. He has, let me see if I can find him quick. he builds churches out of Legos, and they are magnificent, and it's his tool for evangelization that he uses. Let's see if we can, oh, it was right there. Yeah, John Kramer, he does the Lego church, and he builds these amazing things. He's already working on a new project. Here's the altar. That's all he's got done. This thing will be huge. It will take many people to carry when it's done, and it's such a beautiful tool when he's done with it. And it really is an amazing work that he is an evangelist. And no matter the amount of pain that he is in, he continues his work. God bless him. Like, it's amazing what he can do. And there are many more people out there with many gifts and talents who the world is saying that your life isn't worth living. And that's a lie, friends. It's a lie. Your life is worth living. Let's build up a community of support. Another great resource, oh, I have to say, is the National Catholic Partnership for Disability. Reach out to them. Reach out to them. They are an amazing group. Again, that's National Catholic Partnership for Disability. So NCPD, an amazing group. Reach out to them as well. God bless you, friends.